Welcome back to Limq Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until the sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, comes out, which is today in 54 days. And I'm back to Korok hunting now. I have already pre-marked the Korok Seeds I'm planning on getting today. We should reach the 90% mark today, as you can see on the map. And the map is exactly what I want to talk about. I'm not going to open it too much because obviously I have to progress through the game. But the map was maybe my favorite part about Breath of the Wild. Now, why is that, you ask? Obviously the game should be the fun part, but the map is genius. And I think many people agree with this. I think the map in this game inspired so many open world games going forward. It's almost uncountable. What's so fun about this map? It's the detail. The detail in this map is absolutely astonishing. And I do have to show you one specific detail. Like, you can see every single Korok on this map. Like, you can see the Korok, like the little like circle. I already have it marked here. You can kind of see that, for example, over here, there's like a little bit of a suspicious looking like part sticking out of the wall, which makes you think maybe this is where I throw a Korok into the water, which is exactly the case. I casually wasn't too much into Korok hunting, but still, looking around on the map every time I would get a new tower was my favorite part. So what I would do is, I would go to a tower, unlock the map, and then sit there for like 20 minutes looking at the map, looking at everything that could be interesting to me. From locations where I would expect a specific, I don't know, hidden area to a shrine. I would mark these areas and say I would play the game right. I would get a new tower. I was like, oh, there's an interesting spiral here. Let's put a marker here. And then obviously what makes it so good is that when you then open the scope from the tower, you can actually like see these like pillars on the sky. I think right now I'm probably not going to be able to see Rita Kazuma, but if I was on a tower, I would actually be able to do so. And that's what makes this map so incredible. And it was probably, if not one of my favorite aspects of the game, it might have literally been my favorite aspect of the game. Now, what I've been thinking about is, I wonder for multiple reasons what the map in Tears of the Kingdom is gonna play like, feel like, and look like. In terms of looking like, the entire menu aesthetic in this game is obviously completely based around the Sheikah Slate. Our inventory, our quest log, everything that we do is explained by looking at our Sheikah Slate in the game. Now, again, we could just get the Sheikah Slate back. It's just that we haven't actually seen Link wield it yet. So far, the only person we've seen with a Sheikah Slate in hand is Zelda. To this day, we do not know if Zelda is going to be playable, what exactly her role in the sequel is going to be. We're going to find out soon, as Tears of the Kingdom is getting closer and closer. We're almost only 1 month away. But it has made me curious, especially because the entire UI of the game might change if we are not in possession of the Sheikah Slate. I think the directions it could go in would be either, like I explained before, maybe a really like physical, like artistic aesthetic, because Link is just basically by himself and he has like he has like a magical hand now, so maybe he's really good at drawing. Maybe the entire inventory is gonna be more of a physical like drawing type style. Or another option would be that it's related to our broken master sword, which seemingly has potentially fire inside it, or at least some entity we can talk to, judging by the shot that we have seen of Link talking to a light while looking at the master sword when the game was officially delayed. Basically, all things considered, I'm expecting a change in UI, which means I'm expecting a change in the map. Not necessarily how it looks like, but again, how maybe the stamps work, like the little markers, and the aesthetic in general. Again, because this is obviously like we're looking at a Sheikah Slate here, displaying temperatures, percentages, etc. Now, why is it also interesting to talk about the map? It's because there is potentially 3 maps, or if there's 1 map, I'm very curious to see how they managed to do it. At this point, we basically know for sure that Tears of the Kingdom is gonna have Sky Islands and Underground, right? If I open a map and there's Sky Islands on top of things and an Underground below, obviously that's not gonna work. Now, my favorite game to talk about on the series, other than Breath of the Wild, Elden Ring, managed to deal with this problem by basically allowing you to click down the stick on the map, which apparently snaps the cursor back to where you are. I literally didn't know this. I've never pressed down the right stick on this, and I don't know if I've ever heard this sound. I think this sound literally only plays when you right-click the right stick in the map. Literally never saw that before. But if you do that in Elden Ring, you get a different map view. Basically, the overworld map kind of disappears, and instead you see the underground map and in interesting locations there. That could be one way to do it, right? Switching between sky, like normal, and underground map to be able to kind of like see where you want to go next. Because I really hope, and this really was one of my favorite things to do in Breath of the Wild, that they bring back this super detailed map. And then obviously it's going to be interesting to see how well we know. That would be another reason that I want this so much. It would be very cool for me to figure out how well I know the map of this game, for me to immediately spot differences. I think they would need to make differences on the map a little bit more apparent, because not everyone has played this game for 5,000 hours and knows this map perfectly fine. For example, recently I was made aware that I was actually... So there's a shot in the Tears of the Kingdom most recent trailer of Link looking at a blood moon from kind of a structure. I always thought this shot was taken from this location here, because the wall there and that archway looks exactly the same. You can see the background of the Akala Sea perfectly, and it looks exactly the same, but there's a small change in the background, and somebody had actually figured out that it's likely recorded from this structure here, the Akala Citadel, which in this game is broken, but might be repaired for some reason in Tears of the Kingdom. So changes like that have to be made clear a little bit more obviously. I don't know if the Akala Citadel is going to be rebuilt partially. That's definitely one of my most anticipated locations in the sequel, but I think they need to make those locations a little bit more clear, other than just making them very tiny, only noticeable for people that have played this game a ton and studied the map precisely. Again, I mainly just hope that they bring back a detailed map, and I'm curious to see how they manage the differences between the sky and underground maps, and I'm just very excited for the game's overall aesthetic. I also forgot to pick up a palm fruit. I don't know if it's on this tree. Yeah, okay. Maybe I guess I might have had one in my inventory. I actually did. Very unique Korok Seed here where you have to place down a palm fruit. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on the Tears of the Kingdom map. I hope it's going to be a big feature like it was in this game, as it was casually probably one of my favorite things to mess around with and to explore. And I'm very curious about the aesthetic and the challenges that come with basically having 3 overlapping maps at once. One in the sky, one on the ground, and then finally one underground. Now, I'm gonna get the Korok Seed over here. Maybe these two, the ones in the lily pad and the flower chase here. And then I might call it for the day, because tomorrow it looks like we are going to be doing Eventide. That's definitely quickly approaching. If I'm not wrong, we should have now breached 90%. We just did, exactly to the dot. We are now within the last 10% of completion. That's pretty exciting. I might actually go over here and grab some ores. I do have enough money now. I didn't get into this. If you follow this series, I've been recently killing some taluses to get enough money to purchase the fairy fountains, my house to start Terrytown, literally only to get the Terrytown location on my map, which after the house upgrade you can already do. Sorry, not the house upgrade, after buying the house, so I need 3,000 for that, 10,000, well, 11,000 for the 2 fairy fountains I still need to open. And that's pretty much going to be it as far as locations are concerned. I think at this rate, when we hit 30 days left until Tears of the Kingdom, I will probably be pretty close to 100%. So I'm going to be actively starting... I'm going to actively start to take ideas from you guys about things we can do once you reach 100%. I have a couple ideas already. Let me run them by you and let me know which ones you are interested in. First off would be some tutorial style content. I already talked about this in my YouTube comments. Some people still want to know how to do the item duplication glitch. It's really hard to do on your pre-existing file, but one thing I could offer is I could basically make an explanation where if you eat all of your cooked food, I can tell you how to do it. Depending on how many key items you have, I would be able to give you a basic tutorial how to duplicate one item. That's what I would do, because everything else would be way too complicated. I would say, okay, I can show you how to get 999 of any item. You just have to take that item, put it to the ground, pick it back up so it's at the end of your inventory, and the tutorial would work like that. That's one thing we could talk about. I could still talk about things like the slide. The bomb slide that I do multiple times in these recordings. I feel like tutorials for those have been relatively released relatively sparingly. So if you want to hear more about that, I could do that too. And then I can also obviously show you various content in the game quickly. If you want to see Trade Up the Sword speed strats, or just Trade Up the Sword min-maxed, that's another thing we can do. Let me know what you want to see in-game or out of game by me essentially making some sort of tutorial, and I will do that once we have officially reached 100%. This balloon always trips me up. There it is. It is funny how slow these balloons move. This always makes me realize that this part of the game here is actually balanced around it's somehow considered like an early game area just because of how close it is to Hateno. I wonder how many people actually went to the tech lab and then explored down here. For some reason I have never done that myself. But it's obviously accessible right away, so like, why not? Okay, you know what? Let me quickly get this rock circle down here as well. So we only have Korok Seeds at the shrine and then an Eventide Island left. So tomorrow I can focus on Eventide Island. That would be one thing I could talk about tomorrow, for example, if you're interested. The speed strats for Eventide Island, they're pretty cool. I talked about before how that's one of my favorite shrines to do fast. But again, I'm always reading the comments on this channel. Thank you for always hanging out and giving suggestions. I'm glad that a lot of you seem to enjoy the daily videos. It's good to have you. Now with the placement of this Korok Seed, we should be at 90.3%. At this pace, like I said, another 10-15 days from now, we will probably be done. Oh my god. I almost fell for the oldest trick in the book, aka not realizing that I hadn't eaten food yet. Thankfully, I avoided it. Gotta get this Korok Seed. Save the game here. Thank you for watching another day on the LimQ Plus channel. 53 days tomorrow until Tears of the Kingdom comes out. I hope I'll see you around. Thank you for watching again. Peace.